fun. Welcome to my journey to SVP 2015. I thought, I'd try doing the whole vlogging thing. For those of you not savvy on the internet, that's vlog. Sorry. Just so tired from everything recently, getting ready for this trip and stupid CPS. For those of you not in the know, vlog is short for video log. And again, I thought I'd give this a try because people, for some reason, keep subscribing to me on YouTube, and also since I'm not really doing my blog anymore after a very intense shitstorm that happened a couple months ago. Just don't really feel up to it. But anyway, so I had to blow the dust off my old Sony Handycam. It's about 3.1 megapixels. That's how old it is. So, it's basically the best I've got. I have to make do with it. And, I mean, if people like this, me just, videotaping my forays out into the world, then I'll obviously invest in a better camera. I mean, I have a job now, so I could easily do that. And, so yeah, I'm driving all the way to SVP, which is in Dallas, Texas this year, mainly because there's just a lot that I want to do along the way there and back, and I don't know when that opportunity will ever arise again, if it does at all, so that's why I'm driving. We'll have to see what the final count is, but according to Google Maps, it's going to be about a 3,400 mile round trip. I've only done one other trip like that. That was when me and my parents went up to Washington, up to Linwood, which is outside of Seattle, for my cousin's bat mitzvah. And I somehow talked them into doing a trip to Alberta, Canada. And I think that was, in fact, was that 1,300? Or what? 34? I mean, it was close to this, but I can't remember if it was 34 or 32 or something, so hell, this might be the longest trip I've ever done. However, this is the longest trip I've ever done on my own. That's right, I'm going on this huge trip. I've never done anything like it on my own. And, oh, by the way, I hope you can hear me over my failing weather stripping there. But anyway, so, yes, I'm having to do this huge, long trip, going to all these wonderful places by myself. And the reasons for that is, I guess just because I'm a huge loser. Because, all my friends have moved away. Aaron's in Japan. Quinnell is up in San Francisco. That sort of thing. And, I've, had some other, people I kind of know who probably make good traveling companions, but haven't. Like there's Stacy, but for some reason I haven't been able to get a hold of her since I saw her at WaveP in February. There's this nice girl who I'd met on the Death Valley trip, but again, she's up in the Sacramento area, and last I heard from her, busy as hell, just trying to keep her head above water. And then there's this chick, but she looks like a lot of fun, but again, Japan. And then there's kind of my scientist friends, like Andy Farkey, seen here getting his hand eaten by a cooler, Kathleen Springer, and Eric Scott. They're all going to be there, but they all, they got very busy with their lives and jobs to, do this this 2-week excursion like I am, because I mean, matter of fact, Eric just started he's apparently left the San Bernardino Museum, thus, severing all my ties to the institution. And he's now, according to his Facebook post, is now at the Cooper Center in Orange County, and that's pretty good. Cooper Center is it's an excellent facility, and it's got all sorts of great paleo stuff to keep him busy. And of course, I mean, my parents can't go because one, they have to work, and two is because of some troubles going on with my sister right now. We're going to be taking care of her kids, which has required just the most obnoxious, horrendous slog through the system. And I mean, it has just been one headache after another. So obviously, they can't do this huge 2-week-long trip if they've got their 2.5-year-old and 1-year-old grandchildren to look after, whatnot. Plus, Dad has to put the roof on the shed, and he's got to put the roof on the shed, and soccer season's is in full swing again, so he's gonna be busy reffing games. So yeah, all by myself, and I mean, I'll do my best to not let the crushing loneliness get to me. Who knows, or I don't know, maybe the thought that you're watching kind of doing it vicariously through me will be enough, but anyway, and unfortunately you can't see it because it's all washed out because of the angle, but because I've been driving for over an hour now, driving through Cuyama Valley right now, and behind me again you can't see it because it's washed out because of the light, and maybe also because cheap old camera I'm using, but those are kind of what are known as the Cuyama Valley Badlands. My research shows a lot of fossils been found out there, but I haven't been able to get out there myself, which just sucks, because that's one of the only fossil deposits in my region that I can go to and search for fossils. Well, there's the Rumble Strip. And I guess for those of you who don't know, or I don't know how common they are in roads in America or the world, but I know that at least in California here we have what are called rumble strips. They're these, it's just a series of these little flutes cut in the asphalt. So when they roll over it, it makes that sound. And I guess that's supposed to let you know when you're going off-road, you're going off the paved road. And I think also to wake you up if you've fallen asleep at the wheel. So, I mean, today, not a whole lot. I'm going to kind of go through packing because I can, and to give you something to watch. But, I mean, there's like no stops or anything scheduled for today because I know this is the first leg of the trip, and so I just gotta plow through basically a 9-hour drive to Flagstaff, Arizona, which is where all these falling all over myself. I mean, that's just how worn out I am. To Flagstaff, Arizona, that's where I'm going to be staying the night, and then tomorrow will be kind of like my first stop. I think I'm going to like that. It's Petrified Forest National Park. Never been. My geology field course in 2013, when we went to the Grand Canyon, we'd originally wanted to do Petrified Forest on the way back, as well as Craters of the Moon, which also looks really cool, but we were able to do neither of those because the brain dead parasites in Congress shut down the government. And so most national parks and stuff were closed. We were only able to go to the Grand Canyon because, some anonymous donor pitched in a lot of money, and that allowed the park to open. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be pretty cool. So, like I said, today is just driving. I might try to give you like a driving montage of all the places I'm going through. Yeah, again, if only you could see the Beyond the Badlands. They are actually kind of cool. Even though they're not as spectacular as some other Badlands out there. They're right here on the Central Coast. And so, yeah, I've run out of stuff to babble about. Alright, now when you're doing a, huge trip like this, you gotta make sure you pack. Because, it's not like you can just go home and grab something. You're gonna be gone for 2 weeks, you're gonna be on the road a lot. So you really have to sit down and think about what you're going to take. Because you kind of have to take into consideration where you're going, what you might encounter. And so to that end, you can do what we do. We just kind of have me and my parents, we have lists, generalized lists of, generally the stuff we take when going on vacation. That not only helps you, plan out accordingly, but it helps make sure you don't forget something very important. Like here, I forgot my pillow, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I'm only camping 3 nights on this trip, and I could just make do with like a blanket or my beach towel or something like that. So, when you're packing for a great big vacation like this, you'll want to, for starters, you'll want to pack a swimsuit and a beach towel, for if you go swimming, either at a hotel or in a lake or a river or something like that. And then next, you'll need to pack clothes. You'll want to pack your casual clothes. You're on vacation, so you'll want a pair of pants in case it gets cold or it rains or whatever. But, because it's vacation, you want to be casual. You want to wear what's most comfortable, and for me, that's shorts. I like my loose, baggy shorts. So throw those in, and to complete the casualness. There's you got to pack shirts. Now, how many of each item depends on how long you'll be gone. I'm going to be gone 2 weeks, but I packed like 3 shorts and I packed 3 pairs of shorts and 8 shirts. Because basically at some point I am going to have to do a load of laundry. So speaking of which, you'll want to pack a laundry bag. Now, depending upon what you're planning to be doing, this may not be enough. You may need something that's, a little nicer. And so I've just got my nice pants and a button-up shirt. That's about the extent of formal for me. I think the last time I did the whole tie and white shirt, and Dickies and all that, and wingtips, I don't even know if those fit anymore. I think that was at my cousin's bat mitzvah by the time I graduated high school. And because I just don't really care for all that fancy frilliness or whatnot. I'm a very practical minded person. I go with what works, what gets the job done. I don't really see any reason to go further than that. So anyway, so you got your casual. If you're packing shoes, make sure you got plenty of socks. Make sure you got something to sleep in. And oh yeah, don't forget your unmentionables. toiletries are an essential thing to pack. You know, shampoo, soap or body wash, toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant, stuff like that. If you're on meds, make sure you have those. It's very important. I mean, you know, I've been, you know, times when I didn't take my meds, and it's not fun, especially since I have acid reflux. So make sure you pack plenty of those. As you can see, I packed two pill organizers, week long, AM and PM. And, you know, if you're, depending on the pharmacy you use, I just use CVS, but if you're going on a vacation and you don't have enough pills, you can call the pharmacy and you can request a vacation override. And basically what that is they'll, even though it's not time to fill your prescription, they'll fill it anyway so that you have enough for your trip. That's pretty good. And so, I mean, I think that's pretty much it to stuff into your bag. However, the simplest way to plan ahead is to merely be ready for everything. Of course, you want to make sure that you've gotten an appropriate sized bag so that everything will fit. Now, I mentioned I'm going to be doing some camping, and that's mainly just to try and save some money on lodging, as it's usually cheaper to camp somewhere than a hotel. And I'm staying in hotels most of the time, but that's mainly, most of them are Best Western, so I'll be earning rewards, so I can probably get one or two of them for free. But even with that, like I said, I had to find a couple of campgrounds. I mean, when you're camping, people think camping is just kind of easy, but there's little subtleties you have to do, to make sure that it goes off without a hitch. For example, people think you just need to pack a tent, but not just the tent. You need to pack some kind of ground cover, something between your tent and all the rocks and dirt and stuff. And in this case, you can use a tarp. That's standard, but we just have these old pieces of pup tents that we use. And then of course the tent to put it on. You'll want something to sleep in, so make sure you have your sleeping bag. You'll want something to sleep on, so make sure you pack a mattress of some kind, inflatable or this kind of cowboy style mattress I have. Whether you want to make a fire for cooking or just pleasure, make sure you bring plenty of wood if you have the space to do so. You can always buy wood. You'll want to, don't just throw wood in there. You'll need newspaper to help start it, and then lighter fluid to also help start it, especially if it's having trouble. And then you'll want smaller pieces of wood, either stuff that's really dry or small to use as kindling, and that'll burn long enough to get the big stuff on fire. So if you don't pack wood, you can just buy wood somewhere and then split some of the pieces into kindling. And to that end, the kind of tools you'll want to bring are sledgehammer, hatchet, a splitting wedge, and a machete. Don't knock a machete. They are wonderful tools. In addition to hacking through brush, they can be used for wood chopping. They can be used for wood hewing. So, I always take a machete wherever I go. If you're cooking on a fire, make sure you have proper cookware for that. I just got pot and pan from Goodwill that I use. And then you'll want to kind of make like a mess kit of stuff to use to cook and to eat. Like silverware, a cup, a plate, dish rag, a dish towel, then of course cooking utensils. And, so if you do all that, then you should be set to camp just fine. Now when you're in a big long trip like this and you're all alone, you might want to bring along a little protection. But what protection to bring though? Well, that kind of depends on what you think you'll encounter out there. And again, the easiest way to plan ahead is to just be ready for everything. So you might want to bring a little something for natural predators, vagabonds, ruffians, muggers, marauders, zombies, werewolves, goblins, gremlins, zombies, boggarts, radioactive mutant homeless people. Hey, I've seen Chud, it can happen. Brownies, and of course, zombies. Although you could forego all of that and just buy a gun. And so those are kind of my packing tips for a one-man, 2-week odyssey across the Southwest. And so, like I said, I'll maybe try and get you some driving shots when I can, or at least when I get to a place a little more interesting and less water.